Hi, I'm Dick Nelson. This is Sports Week, a look at college sports, the people, and the games they play. And tonight we have a long list of guests on the show. Craig Chappell will be with us. Also, the head football coach at Grand Valley, Tom Beck. Dave Ocharczyk and Jeff Agar will join us. Also, Rob Rubik, the tight end for the Detroit Lions, and Tom Villamere, the head basketball coach at Grand Valley State College. So all in all, a lot of activity on Sports Week tonight. Do stay with us. Well, he's a young man from Wyoming, Michigan, that is, who now resides in Big Rapids. For the past decade, Wyoming Rogers High School has been a dominant force in Class B basketball in western Michigan. Harry Hudson, their coach, has been blessed with a string of players possessing the talent a high school coach dreams of. They belong to one family, the Chappell brothers. The youngest, Craig, was an all-state performer last year at Rogers and is now attending Ferris State College. Now, being from a family of basketball stars, did Craig, as a youngster, have any added pressure?
Not really, because I was just having fun, and I just went out, and they would take me along. We'd just go play ball or something like that. So it really wasn't no pressure on me at all.
Well, the history of Wyoming in Rogers High School, the Chappell history, I think almost a decade, one of your brothers or yourself were playing basketball for Harry Hudson. When you got to that level, did the pressure start then?
Not really, because Mr. Hudson was such a good coach. He made sure, there wasn't really a lot of pressure on me, so I could just go out and play.
You made the adjustment, and a lot of people call it the biggest adjustment a basketball player makes. That from high school play, where you in high school were usually the big man on the court, to a college level where now you're a small forward almost. Was that adjustment great?
Oh, yeah, it was, because you got different shots, and you're not as underneath the boards as much, and you got to play more outside. So I had to adjust to that, too, and I think right now I'm just starting to get into it, to know where I can shoot and not shoot.
Now, there was a lot of talk last winter when you were playing high school basketball that you possibly might go Division I. Two of your brothers did. One was very successful. The other one didn't have as much success on the basketball court. Did that play in your decision to stay Division II?
Yeah, it really did, because I figured even how good my one brother, Doug, did, he only got his education out of it, so I went more education than playing basketball.
Do you think that with the young high school player today, and you are about as close as you can get to a high school player, you've only been out for less than a year, that there's too much emphasis put on the fact that maybe someday I can make the NBA?
I don't think as much nowadays as it used to be, because the kids are getting more realistic of what they can do and the goals they can accomplish.
His older brothers, Doug and Steve, chose to play college ball in the Motor City of Detroit. Craig chose Big Rapids, much closer to home. Is that an advantage?
Oh, it's a big advantage, because your family can come up here and watch you, and a lot of friends can come up and see you. And if you want to go home, if something happens, you can just go right home real quick.
How much coaching do your brothers do to you when they come out and watch you play?
Really not much. They might be more critical than the regular fan. They might say, oh, maybe you should rebound harder or something like that, but they're more supportive than anything.
Craig Chappell, the young forward at Ferris State College, and of course Ferris will be the Lakers' foe 2 weeks from Saturday. Joining us right now in the studio, the new head football coach here at Grand Valley State College, Tom Beck. And Tom, you just went through turmoil, as they say. It's recruiting time and letter of intent time. And how did things turn out?
Well, I don't know if I would call it turmoil. It was a lot of hours spent, that's for sure. I think that we did a very good job as far as the type of recruits, the type of young men that we have signed, and we're looking forward to them being our freshman class for this next fall.
Any of them coming into the program that you feel you can count on the first year, Tom?
Every year, I don't want to sound like a skeptic, but it's a difficult adjustment for a freshman. And every year I'm surprised by certain ones, those that I think are going to come in and really help us and don't as much as I thought, and others that I think, well, maybe they're going to be a year or two away, and they come in and they do a great job right off the bat. I think at certain positions it's easier to come in and play right away. I think receivers, running backs, are probably the easiest spots to come in and make an impact. Ironically as it sounds, perhaps quarterback also. I think the toughest spot is in the offensive line and in the defensive secondary.
Players that you've signed, any names that people in the Western Michigan area would be familiar with?
Well, we've signed a few boys from the Grand Rapids area. Defensive end and linebacker by the name of Heischetter from Northview, and Joe Applewhite from Grand Rapids. We've tried to sign a number of others from the Grand Rapids area, but they happen to slip through our hands, I guess as the saying goes. We have a number of good young men that are coming in, and those are just a couple right now.
Did you find it difficult, the fact that, of course, the only way you've seen Grand Valley play at all is on film, not being able to see the men perform on the field? Did that make it more difficult in recruiting?
Yes, it did. It's hard to evaluate totally just through film. Now, we have been able to evaluate the last 2 weeks through our winter workouts and agility programs and weight program, but there's a number of people that can look good in the weight room and in agility, but it's a different story when they're out on the field. So very definitely it's been difficult in that respect, ascertaining really what our strengths and our weaknesses are.
Any surprises in the agility drills and the running drills with the current players on campus?
Well, I'll start out with quarterback. Young man by the name of Guy Schuler, who was redshirted this past year and was an all-state football player in Ohio. Really has impressed me with his agility, his willingness to work, and a very strong arm, just seeing him throw a little bit on his own in the field house. So you have to have a good person at that position, and I'm very impressed with him. A couple of big players, Brian Mulcahy on the defensive side of the line. Impressed with his agility, his strength, his willingness to work. He's going to be a junior next year. And a couple of our offensive linemen also. I really feel that we need some help in getting a good, big, strong fullback, and we do have some recruits coming in at that position, a couple of junior college players as well as high school players. So we're looking forward to spring practice when we can get out there and really see what they can do.
Well, Tom, we want to wish you the very best of luck, and thanks so much for stopping by.
It's always a pleasure.
Tom Beck, the new head football coach here at Grand Valley State College, and we were just talking to Tom about the fact when you go to the field house at Grand Valley State College lately, it's like going to a professional training camp. There are 2 players, of course, from the National Football League who work out every day, and there are 6 baseball players who are working out with their teammates at Grand Valley every day. 2 of them are young men who led the Lakers to their finest season ever. They are Dave Ocharsik and Jeff Agar, a couple of big right-handed pitchers, and they'll be going to their first spring training. Last year, Grand Valley had its most successful season ever in baseball. They won over 30 games, and if you were to evaluate why, you would probably come to the conclusion it was pitching. The 2 men most responsible for that were Dave Ocharsik and Jeff Agar. This past summer, both young men signed professional baseball contracts. Dave with Toronto, Jeff with Detroit. They're now working out with their former college teammates, preparing for their first pro spring training. We asked Dave if he's a little anxious.
Not really. It's kind of tense right now because I'm getting ready. I don't really know what it's all about, but I'm looking forward to it. Had a good year with Sullivan's. Got signed down in Wichita, and I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of a little bit of pressure right now, but I'm looking forward to it.
Were you disappointed you weren't drafted?
Not really. I was looking forward to the summer, and I was kind of disappointed, but that's what you got to do, you know, keep right on moving.
Are you looking forward to playing in Toronto?
Yeah, hopefully I can get there someday. But I'll start out in Tampa right now, spring training, and move on from there after spring training. 6 weeks is done. I think I'm going to go to South Carolina, South Atlantic League, and from there, hopefully I can move to Toronto, you know, in a few years, couple years, and
well, as far as you as a pitcher, I watched you pitch several times last year, and you're basically a power pitcher. Are you going to have to work on the breaking pitches? Did they talk to you at all about it?
He said he liked my pitches, my slider, my curve. He liked the way my ball moved, and in Wichita I was throwing about 90. I started off throwing 90, and it went down a little bit towards the end of the game. So right now I'm trying to work on strength and move that power up, you know, so I can keep 90 up.
Now, when you talk about working on strength, is that working with weights, or is it
working
other
with weights,
things?
keeping my legs in shape, running a lot. That's basically it. You know, stretching out, do some good stretching, and working out with the weights every other day.
Jeff Agar was signed by the Detroit Tigers. He's been a fan of the Bengals all his life. Is he excited?
Yeah, I really am. It's a great honor to go with the Tigers, and it's been like a lifelong dream, to go with the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, the publicity for the Tigers around this area, and everyone knows about the Tigers, and going with them was just a great feeling.
Now, you were not drafted. Were you disappointed when that happened?
Not really, because I knew I didn't think I was ready to go into professional ball yet. There were a lot of things to learn, a lot of things I wasn't ready for, and I really hadn't played against some of the better competition across the nation, really. And playing with Sullivan's during the summer really made me mature quite a bit, and I think that was a big help to wait and not go into pro ball right away.
How would you describe yourself as a pitcher?
As a pitcher, I try to be in control of the game at all times. Sometimes I'm not, but I want to be the one that has the control of whether the game, wins or loses. I want to be the one that has possibly the chance to be the one that has the biggest say in the win. I want to be the one that has a chance to be the superstar, or the one that has a chance to be the failure.
Now, you're at a disadvantage. We've talked with several of the fellows who are working out. They have already been down. They've been through the rigors. Do you lay awake at night wondering what's it going to be like?
Sometimes I wonder, what all is going to happen. But I've talked to several people that have been down there before just to get an idea of what it's going to be like. And I know it'll be a totally new experience from what I've been through in college. But I'm trying to prepare myself mentally to expect anything and just do whatever they tell me to do.
Have you set goals, Jeff, as far as when you want to make it to the big show?
No, because I never anticipated even going pro. I just want to keep progressing like I have through high school and through college. I just want to keep getting better each year, and the things take care of themselves about your, moving up. So I just want to keep getting better each year, and then if I make the major leagues, then that'll happen.
Two fine young men, Dave Olcharczyk and Jeff Agar, and let's hope in the next few years we'll see them play in Major League Baseball. Well, right now it's time for our tip of the week, and our subject tonight is going to be basketball. And whenever we talk on basketball, we call on the head basketball coach at Grand Valley, Tom Villamure.
Glenn Pichet has just demonstrated 2 of the 6 moves off of the rocker step. First he faked to his left, did you, Glenn? And went to your right. Is that correct? And then he faked to his left. I'm sorry, faked to his right and went to his left. So now there are 4 more. One is a stationary shot where he fakes the rocker step and shoots. So now he has already